I never lose, either I win or I learn. Those are my only options, to whomever it may concern. About to be a hot topic, play with fire, you get burned. Ain't nobody give me nothing, whatever I got, better I earn. I never lose, but I learn. I either win or I learn. Those are my only options, to whomever.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Strong AF podcast. I'm Ashley.
I'm Yuri.
And we're going to be your host tonight. And tonight we have on Dewayne Speedy Smith. He is the owner and founder of Speedy Smith Fit Training, and he has structured an authentic method of training the body that involves little to no weights. He grew up in a small town of Cleveland, North Carolina, where at an early age, he developed an unquenchable thirst for fitness. And he remains strong mentally and physically because he knows that his smallest actions can make the biggest impact. So welcome, Dewayne. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, how are you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Awesome. We're so happy to have you on. So tell us a little bit about you and your business.
All right. Well, as you guys know, I'm Dewayne, Dewayne Smith. Everyone knows me as Speedy. I got the nickname when I was younger due to my speed. So it stuck with me. And, you know, I was talking with my wife one day, well, my girlfriend at the time, and this is when I was really wrapping my head around starting a fitness company. And she was like, well, go with Speedy Smith. And it just stuck. You know, I like the ring to it. And it just says so much about, for one, my name, and, you know, it's Speedy Smith Fit. So that's, you know, what I'm about, getting fit. And that just parlayed into what it is now, which is a evolving empire soon to be. So I love it.
That's awesome. So how long have you been in the business?
Well, let's see. Off the record, 15 years, but really like legitimizing everything with paperwork and all of that, three plus years.
That's great. Congratulations.
Yeah. It's always nice when we have someone from our small town of Cleveland. We always have that connection.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
great to have you on here.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, man, this is awesome. So you said that you got started at an early age. Like, what really kicked that off for you? What made you desire that?
All right. Well, to be honest, I'm not the biggest, the biggest person. So when I was in school, especially middle school, I would get picked on a lot. And it was because of my size. And, you know, I come from a family where we really don't fight. You know, we use our words, things like that. So, I mean, one day I just dropped down and started, you know, doing push-ups, or I went outside running when I would feel myself a rage coming on. And, you know, I realized that it helped me, you know, it released my stress. I went in, I felt better, you know, I can talk more calmly. So I comprised a invention in my mind that, you know, this fitness thing, it doesn't just make you feel good. You know, after a while of doing it, it makes you look good as well. And a lot of people start knowing, and that's how the snowball effect of, hey, what, you looking good, what you doing? Or, you know, yada, yada, yada. So it all just stems from being picked on.
Sometimes it's those things that like really motivate us and get us going there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And that sticks with you too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, especially going to our middle school, where, especially in course, where we all picked on each other. So I'll take credit for that.
Well, thank you.
So you were one of the ones bullying, huh?
No, I would say bullying. It was little banter back and forth with everybody. That's just how it was.
All right. So were you in sports in school?
Oh, heavens, yes. I did everything. Football, wrestling, track, tennis, anything that involves sweating and a challenge, I did it.
What was your favorite?
I would say wrestling, because that gets you in shape for anything.
Oh, yeah. That's tough. Our child tried that, and he just wasn't quite ready for the wrestling.
Yeah.
It was hard to watch.
Yeah.
To see them, especially when they're going at it, and he's sitting there like, I really don't want to do this.
Exactly. Yeah,
exactly.
So,
That's great. So, would you say that your time in sports has taught you lessons that you've used throughout life?
Oh, absolutely. For one, time management. It taught me, time management. It taught me how to, be humble. It showed me how everyone isn't gifted with the same talent as you. Like everyone has their own strength and weaknesses. And, being with people for, 2 months, 3 years, however long, you develop, that bond, and you start feeding off of each other. And then pretty soon you start communicating without verbalizing. Like I have a twin brother, Tremaine, identical, and he can look at me a certain way. I know what he's saying. Or my friend Yuri, which Yuri is my friend. We went to school together. He, come to school one day, have a certain look on his face. I know not to talk to him for a while. It's things like that. So
You saw that?
When I see that face, I know not to talk to him for a while too.
Yeah. So sports has definitely molded me into what I am today.
That's incredible.
Quick story. Now that you was talking about your brother Tremaine, I remember in 6th grade, the first time I realized you had a twin. I was walking down the hall and he was walking the other way, and I said something to him, and he looked at me kind of crazy. And I was like, what's wrong with Dewayne? Why is he like that? And then I seen the two of you together, and I was like, oh, now it makes sense.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Still to this day.
Oh, I bet so. This guy I work with, he has a twin brother, and I remember the first time I was like, "Hey, how are you doing, Andy?" And he just looked at me crazy, and I was like, "Okay, well, I guess don't act like you don't know me too." And then I realized it was his twin.
Yeah.
Oh man, so you and Tremaine, do you guys have similar fitness goals? I mean, how is that?
All right. Well, small story. Metaphorically speaking, he's the brains and I'm the bronze. If that makes sense.
Right.
And we just kind of feed off of each other. Like, he's real book smart, and I'm real, street smart or whatnot. And he can tell you all of these things about history and whatever in books, and I can tell you everything that's the opposite of that. And we just kind of go back and forth with each other. Like we give and take from each other. And now that we're getting older, it's like we're playing role reversal. So now I'm becoming more quote unquote book smart, and he's becoming more streetwise. And it's just a fascinating thing to kind of see that.
That's awesome. That's great teamwork right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely have that unbreakable bond.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what I'm really excited to learn about today is your method of training, because it says that you use little to no weight. So I'm assuming you're pretty close to a calisthenics type of workout.
Yes. Well, all right. So, because I believe that, starting from the root of things. So I refer to it as training, not working out. And it's really not it's a difference, but when I break it down to people, like, well, what's the difference? Well, for one, I would prefer you say training because you and me, but the difference is, all right, so when someone works out, they use weights, whatever weighted, whatever is 10 pounds, 45 pounds, whatnot. I don't know. Now, I would prefer training or exercise because I use my body. I use your body weight. Like if you're 130 pounds, you're working with 130 pounds, you're not lifting any free weights, nothing like that. So you're training. Now my method, I came up with my own method. It took some years. It's called sterohygienics. And in a minute, I will break that down for you. But it's basically isometrics, calisthenics, and plyometrics all into one ball. So, for the isometrics, you're getting your strength. For your calisthenics, you're flipping, you're getting your flexibility. And for plyometrics, like box jumps, things of that nature. So you're getting your explosions. You put all three of them into one, and you're using your body weight with it, and you get sterile hygienics.
That's
great.
Genius.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
I love that. So tell us how that's worked out for your clients.
Oh, great. I'm and Yuri can tell you this. I'm very humble. I don't believe in bragging. I have a saying, I let my clients do the bragging for me. Which it's a literal thing, but
Yeah.
they love it. I mean, the things that I do, my method, of course, is very is different, and different is not weird. It's just something new.
Mm-hmm.
So I put them through I don't want to say rigorous training, but just I focus on the small things that lead to the big things, that someone may not be necessarily used to.
Mm-hmm.
So I do a lot of things to shock your body. Like in my session with me, we never do the same thing twice. We may do a couple things similar for muscle memory, but 10 times out of 10 is different, because metaphorically speaking, if I'm, lifting weights, quote unquote, and for the first month, I'm introducing my body to new stimuli. So of course you're going to have gains. Like you're going to, oh yeah, looking in the mirror, kissing your muscles, whatever. But if you keep doing the same regimen, you're going to stop seeing gains, and you're going to, kind of get depressed. Well, what your body is saying, because your body can talk to each other. It says, okay, well, I'm doing the same thing. I can store this fat here. I can store this here. It's like sitting on the couch. If you sit on the couch for an hour, you get comfortable. Soon as you get up to get some popcorn or something, you sit back down, you're not comfortable. And it's going to take you a while to get back to that level. Well, my method, I'm constantly, I got to run over here. I got to do this. I got to do this. So your body is not resting. It's constantly moving, not a whole lot, but a little is a lot over time. Yeah. And that's where the tonality comes from. And a lot of people, that's why I'm really against like working out of weights, because the thing is, you can't get strength from lifting weights. You get strong. Like you can bench 400 pounds all day, but if you can't do a single pull up to lift your body, then that's, I don't want to say it's useless, but it's not for me.
Right.
So I like to reverse that role, and I can do 220 10 times, but lift my body, which is 145 pounds, 30 times. Now that's strength training. That's training. You see what I'm saying?
And functional.
That's strength working out. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I love how you said that it's the little things that make the big difference, right? Because that's the same thing that we preach to our clients. So we are a vegan fitness and training and nutrition company, but our clients most of the time are not vegan, and that's okay, because it's adding those small changes into your lifestyle that makes a huge impact. And that's what we're trying to teach. And I'm glad that you're saying the same thing.
Firm believer. And
Absolutely.
When you started introducing this method to your clients, did you run across any who were hesitant to it, where they thought they were going to like lift weights or anything like that, the norm of fitness instead of just your training method?
Yeah, they're saying we're not going to get results because we're not using weights.
Oh, absolutely. I actually lost a few clients because they wanted a different atmosphere, quote unquote. And I'm like, no problem. So I go about my business, my clients, I introduce them to my method, and pretty soon the same friends that wanted a different atmosphere now looking at that person like, man, what you doing? Oh, I'm going to Speedy. I'm doing this. Speedy, he don't lift weights. Girl, I know. And bam, then the mind, and then they tell their friends about it. So word of mouth, that's my biggest help right now, because I don't have commercials or TV. So my body is my advertisement. Like I don't like to show it. I'm not one of them, whistleblowing trainers, or taking off my shirt wearing tight shirts to show my body. I'm not one of them trainers. I let my work speak for me.
Right.
And then I let the people see my clients. That's my advertisement. That's what I help make. That's what I didn't make it. I help make it. That's why I tell my people, I'm going to help you get to your goal. Like, I'm not going to get you to your
Mm-hmm.
goal. I'm going to help you. Like, if you don't want to do it, I'm not going to force you, you know?
Exactly.
If you don't want to be great, I'm not going to force you to be great. But if you want to be great, I know the secrets,
Right.
you know? So
Yeah. You have the tools and the toolkit, but at the end of the day, they have to want the change for themselves and they have to be willing to work for that.
you know what? I tell people, because I like to say a lot of metaphors, because then people can see what I'm saying and they can understand it. So I tell them, listen, in this whole fitness program, I'm the architect. You know, you're the construction worker. And if they get that, then they get it.
Right.
If not, then, you know, I try to explain it to them, but they get
Yeah,
it.
that's a great metaphor right there.
It's always amazing when you have a client who just listens to everything you say. They don't disagree with anything. They just buy in, and then their results just speak for themselves. It's just like, oh, I'm so proud of you. You think you're training them when they're really training you.
Right.
You're learning
Exactly.
from them. It's just amazing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And you know what? It all starts with the youth. You know, that's why I love training kids. I have tons of videos from me training, you know, children with, you know, different disabilities, cognitive issues, things like that. It doesn't matter. Because my thing is, I'm a kid at heart, so I know how to relate to them, but I'm an adult, you know, physically. So now it's like I know that line, but I don't look at them different. Like, hey, you know, I don't frown down upon. I know my job is to help you realize your potential and your talents. And once they break past that, and you know, it's a trust factor in there. I got to gain their trust first. Once they trust me, then, you know, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I do a lot of mind training because it's like a waterfall. You know, a waterfall flows down, you know, same thing with the mind and the body. What your mind thinks, your body does. See, a lot of people, they get that misconstrued. They like to do things, but it's in an unorthodox method. Like they're trying to do, you know, A skips, but, you know, they're just wasting energy. Think about it. Go slow. Let your mind, because your body wants to move. It's gonna move. That's its purpose. But your mind has to know, okay, pick your right foot up, put your right foot down, move your right foot to the right. It's a math problem. Yes. And then once you get that connection between your mind to your body, now you can move faster. So that's why I tell my people, hey, you're not going slow, you're just going consistent. You know, it's all about terminology. Like fitness is it's a lot more than physicality. You got your mentally, you got your spiritually. It takes a village.
It does.
You
know, so many
and
times you can come into the gym and just not be feeling it, right? And you know you don't put your best work in. But if you sit there and you clear your mind and you just focus on what you're doing, you have such better results. Like I'll have my clients come in and they'll be doing things from muscle memory, right? So they'll just be doing the work, you know, not even thinking about it. And it's like, no, stop and think about the muscle that you're working. Like focus on that muscle and then tell me how you feel. And every time they feel it 100% more when they're sitting there thinking about that muscle.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So how did you get started into training the youth? Where did that whole aspect come from?
Okay. Perfect. All right. So I've been at this, you know, fitness venture for a while, and I mean in different avenues, you know, gymnastics, calisthenics, all of that stuff. I do it all. But I was working with a young girl. Well, all right. So I used to work at this place called, well, we know it as American Stars back in the day. All right. So long story short, I started interning there. It's called Advanced Gymnastics. So I used to do birthday parties. You know, I used to, you know, flip around for them, entertain the kids because I was good at it. And this one girl, she was 4 years old at the time. You know, all the kids, you know, they kind of, you know, tied me up, my arms, my legs, thinking I was gonna, you know, just be bound. But you know me, you know, I'm a I'm a weeble wobbler. So, you know, I'm hopping around. They chasing me. And the parents just looking in amazement, like, what is he doing? You know, and the little girl that tied me up initially, she, you know, she just formed a bond with me, and she's been with me ever since. She's now 14 years old. I teach her aerial silks, but from that day, her mother just started telling people like, hey, it's this black guy at the gym. He's amazing, you know, like, and her friends are like, you know, tell me more, you know, and just word of mouth, it just got out like that. And, you know, long story short, Ellen DeGeneres seen a video about me and a young guy I was helping to walk. He has MS. I believe he have MS. I don't know. But anyhow, she seen how I was motivating him, how he was doing it. And she, you know, tweeted about us for Motivation Monday. And not to put myself on a pedestal and brag or anything, but that right there, it was a shining light. Like, hey, like, you really making a difference. If celebrities, you know, take the time to talk about you, even if it's for a minute, you know, like, look at the impact you're doing on the world. And, you know, just keep a humble mind, because like, you're nobody, and just keep doing what you're doing, and the right people will see the right work that you're doing. So,
but listen, if you're not going to brag on yourself, like, we're going to brag on you here, because we saw that. And that's
several times.
That's a big reason why we wanted you to come on here. Like, we're really inspired by you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, because if you could see, for the people viewing this, if you could see the way he's pushing that little boy, and he's so happy as he's sitting there going across the tape and hitting every line as you asked him to do and stuff like that, is very encouraging.
And I will have you know now, he's walking. I mean, you know, of course, not normal, but he's walking without the stick, the crutches, and he's riding a bike.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So, quick question. What did your mom say when she found out about the Ellen video or something? I could imagine that she was so happy for you, just thrilled for you.
Man, she freaked out. She was like, all right, dang, I forgot how it go down. All right, so I'm at the academy in my room training all day, so I didn't know nothing about it. My brother seen it, you know. First off, he was, you know, he's a big Twitter bum, so he's on Twitter all day.
That's why I seen.
And he was like, Dewayne Smith, that's my brother. So he clicked on it, he seen me, and then he called my mama. I'm like, Mama, go to Twitter. She was like, I don't have Twitter. So he had to get a Twitter, all that. And she was like, oh my goodness. So I got home, and it was like, you know, a surprise birthday party or something. They all waiting on me. And, you on Twitter? I'm like, what you talking about? They sat me down and showed me. I was like, well, I'll be. Like, I'm, you know, I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm on Twitter. And they were like, no, you're this big deal. You're a big deal. And even though I was like, I didn't view it as that, but on the inside, I was like, oh my goodness, you know, like, you know, so heck yeah. And just to piggyback and add to that, Yuri, my mother is the one that started this whole thing of me personal training, because I used to help people all the time, because, you know, when I would go in gyms, like the things I would do, it was just unique, and people they couldn't help but to stop and look at me. And for a while, I would stop going to gyms, because I wasn't in there as, you know, like a show. You know, I'm in there to, you know, get fit, and, you know, and people would come ask me all the time, hey man, you know, how you do this, how you do that? Because, you know, I had a nice physique, you know, yada, 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 whatnot. So one day, my mother noticed, you know, I was helping all these people. I lie to you not. This is her quote. Would you start charging for your time? So I started like, okay, I do $10 an hour. And, you know, through the years and, you know, certifications, paperwork, I'm now at $40. I can name my own price. I stay reasonable, because, you know, money isn't everything. Like I tell my clients, you know, the money, that's not my payment. That's just to like keep my lights on. And, you know, literally, but my payment is to see you do a pull up for the first time that you could never do. If you do that pull up, that facial expression is priceless. That's my payment. The money is just to keep the lights going, to help me to reinvest in helping you in my business. So
yeah.
Yes, it's always wonderful when you see that look on their face as they start to believe in themselves. It's like, see there, I told you can do it, and now you start believing, and just like you said, sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Let me tell you one thing about that saying. So they say the sky's the limit, but my saying is the sky's the limit. However, space is limitless, because even if you shoot for the moon and you miss it, you still with the stars.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Mentality is all in the mind, all in the mind.
So let me ask you this, because it's great when you see the results of your clients, right? Those who have put in the hard work and who have listened to your advice and followed along. However, as trainers and with us working with our clients on nutrition, there's always those who come in at 100%, but then they kind of wean off and they get less motivated, or they stop showing up. And I don't know about you, but it can be it was very disheartening in the beginning for us, because it's like, I know this works. This is work for our clients, but they're not showing up. They're not putting in the work. How can we motivate them? And it was changing that perception of, again, we're giving you the tools, but you've got to put in the work, and motivating that way. But how is your approach on that? Because that can be kind of disheartening as a trainer, I believe.
Okay, yeah, that's an excellent question, and this happened to me and my clients many of times. So I would, I recognize the problem. Like, I'm not a one to beat around the bush. Like, the quicker we can resolve it, the quicker we can move on. So I'll stop them, and I'll have a conversation with, like, hey, what's going on? Because I keep excellent stats. I can tell them, you've been doing this, and I'm like, hey, just talk to me. I'm a person just like you. Just talk to me. Before I'm your trainer, I'm your friend. And I'm having some issues in my life, yada yada yada. Well, not yada, but just going on rambling. And I'm like, okay, listen, you have to make lifestyle changes, because you're trying to better yourself, not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, nutritionally, everything. And like I say, I'm the architect to this. So I'm giving you the blueprint, like, I'm not telling you what to eat. I'm just giving you options. I'm not, give me 50 push-ups. Like, I'm not going, I'm telling you, hey, do this, and it'll make you like this. And I'm giving you the choice. So I just talk to them, see where they're at mentally, and then we can move on physically.
Yeah.
And that usually works.
100% agree with that. Everything to me starts mentally. And once you realize that you're stronger than you believe you are in here, then you can become physically stronger. But you always, in everything, right? So in life, when you're facing a situation that you've not been through before, whether it's speaking in public, whether it's a job interview, whether it's a new relationship, whatever it is, if it's new to you and it's scary, you always have that fear of moving forward and that you're not good enough, or something's always holding you back, right? And it's the same with fitness. So you don't feel like you can lift that extra 5 or 10 pounds, or you don't feel like you can do that extra rep. But once you get past it mentally, then you can move forward and you can show those gains.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's always about challenging yourself, showing that you can do more than you think. Because, like you said, it's all a mind thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And to piggyback off of that as well, one interesting thing, and I, got to give my brother Tremaine credit. He gave me this idea. All right. So all of my clients, the youngest ones to the oldest ones, and everyone in between, they have it's called a can't agreement. Now, I could differentiate what you mean. Like, I'm not going to have you doing backflips off the wall and nothing, too sporadic. But it states that if you say the words, like, while we're training, I can't, I won't, I'm not, or use profanity. Like 1 or 2 cuss words, that'll slip out. That's fine. But I mean, like cussing like a sailor, that's uncalled for. So if you say any of those words, then you owe me $1 into my can't jar or do 25 push-ups. And, you know, 1 or 2 times, you know, they get caught with $1 or 25 push-ups, but, you know, they get it pretty quick and they catch themselves. And that's my goal, is to, you know, they catch themselves and, you know, kind of reverse it, because now my mind, I know, you know, I'm getting better, because at first I would say, I can't do this, but now I'm saying I can. Oh, I'm rethinking.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so now I'm doing what I'm rethinking. I'm getting better. And that's where it starts, from the root to the fruit.
That's like something like our household, where we have this thing where we hate saying, I'll try. Because you're pretty much setting yourself up for failure, because either you do it or you don't. Plain and simple.
The minute you say that I'll try, you're giving yourself an excuse to not doing it.
Yeah, you've got a quick out right there, right then and there.
Very true. I like that.
That reminds me back in course with Miss King's class with those handbells. Every time you ding those handbells, and you, was it like a quarter or something like that?
Oh Lord, oh Miss King. Yeah.
I bet you owed a lot.
Oh yeah. I had the little small handbell too, and
Lord.
on my little pull up, I had the zipper. So every time I go to damp it, ting.
Oh gosh, yeah, I remember that.
And I understand that you not only have a business here locally where you are, but you also have a business overseas. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. All right. So it all stemmed basically from a young lady that I met on Facebook about 5 years ago, which is my wife now. So yes, we had to have a long-term relationship, and we had to have trust. And, you know, that's the most important aspect of a relationship. So long story short, you know, I would go to the Dominican, you know, quite a few times. And like I said before, my method of training is different. You know, I got a nice physique. You know, I look pretty good. I clean up nice. And a lot of people would notice me, not just, you know, the females, but also, you know, the males, because I mean, they're real big on fitness over there, but a lot of them just think it's, you know, if you just going in the gym to sweat and that's it. They want the muscles. So when I started doing things, they would, you know, notice me, coming up to me, seeing what I do. And a few really just like kind of stuck with me. And it's like a snowball effect. So every time I go down there, I'm more of a fitness consultant. So like gym owners that contract me to come in and give like seminars to their trainers on how to train, because I have my own method. And that's a cool thing. So every 6 months, I'm back and forth.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I believe I've seen one of your videos. It was you and another guy. Y'all were doing all kind of flips, and it was some of them things y'all were doing. I was like,
yes, sir.
Seen that before. I seen that. I seen that in middle school. I seen that in high school.
Yeah, ain't nothing changed. And you know, just a, you know, kind of a quick promo here. All of my videos, everything I do is on my social media, my Facebook business page, my Instagram, my YouTube. If you do go to my YouTube, subscribe. I love subscribers. And you know, you can just reach out to me. Like, not only am I talking about this, but I live it. You know, I sleep, I dream about training. I wake up and I do it. You know, like literally, I dream about it and I can't sleep. So that's how I know this is my reason for living, is to help people, you know, add years to their life. So
that's great. Yeah, we'll definitely include all of your information in the description below. That way everybody can go on and check you out. And what's the best way to get in contact with you? Like, do you have a preferred method?
The best way is, I love text. You know, you can text my phone, my personal number. But in a business aspect, you know, leave me a message on my Facebook business page. But any method really is preferred. You know, DM me on Instagram. You know, leave me a message on Messenger. You know, just reach out to me. I get back to you. It's no matter the avenue. You know, it's all the same road, or it all leads to the same destination, which is me.
That's great. I love that you're so easily accessible too.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the things that I know people I run into when they're like, "Oh, we seen you out running this morning at 4 a.m." It's like how do you get up like that? It's like I set an alarm and I get up, I do it. It's I stay consistent.
Mhm.
It's not that trust me, I don't want to do it. But I get out there and I know I need to do it.
Especially when it's like 20, 30 degrees outside.
That's the only time I regret it. I'm out there. I'm like, well, I can't
Oh,
walk.
God.
I gotta run. I gotta move because that's gonna warm me up. So.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. So, funny story. You said you met your wife on Facebook. So,
Mhm.
Yuri and actually met on MySpace way back in the day.
Oh man, that's retro.
Yes.
Dang. Y'all got me beat. Dang.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah. So, back in the day when MySpace was in.
Mhm. Wow. I never thought I'd hear that again.
I know.
It's always the same reaction we tell people.
Yeah.
Like MySpace.
Yeah.
Except, the younger generation now, they don't even know what MySpace
You're like,
is.
what is that?
Right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right. So we got some rapid fire questions for you.
All right.
All right. Weights or cardio?
Cardio.
Favorite fruit?
Grapes.
Favorite vegetable?
Pickles.
Ooh, pickles. That's a good one. Favorite comfort food?
Ice cream.
First thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word vegan?
Plants.
And where do you get your strength from?
Knowing that what I do would make somebody else better.
Oh, I love that. That's so good.
Yeah, that's the key factor, knowing that what you're doing is perfect for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't enjoy doing it, you're not going to do it. But with you and your training and everything, you could tell that you genuinely care about people and affect them. And like you said, it's not about the money. It's about adding value to their lives.
Exactly. Because the money, all right, listen to this. And you guys, you strike me as, intelligent people, but a lot of people aren't like us. So it's the mentality factor. A lot of people, I can charge, $100 a session, but yeah, you're only going to get maybe like 5 people, like me, I charge $20 a session and get 100 people and the money. And I'm still, listen, you don't go for the money, you go for the people that has the money. Just like when leaves fall off of a tree, one leaf fall, then the next leaf, and they're just leaves scattered, so they don't look like much. But once you rake them all up, you got a pile that your kids can play in. It's the same thing, and they don't see that, which is okay. It just gives me more vision.
Right, exactly. And I like where you're going with that. It's all about your ideal customer too, right? So you're not looking for people who want to be in the gym loaded up with weights. You're looking for a certain type of client, and that's okay. Like those are your people, right? And we don't need to be out here searching for everyone. We need to search for the people that we can help the most. And that varies depending on person.
Yeah, that's something we always, when we have our one-on-one call with our potential clients, we always stress that if you're not willing to put in the work, we're not going to give you some magic pill that's going to make you lose 100 pounds in 3 weeks or something like that. We're going to, like you said, we're going to give you the blueprint, but it's up to you to put in the work and show up day after day. The rest is all up to you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, we have had such a great time talking to you, Dewayne. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, please. Anytime, invite me back. I'm here.
Yeah,
Definitely.
That would be great. We just love talking to Dewayne Speedy Smith and learning all about his business. It's just amazing to see that he's been able to create his own training method to work with his clients, and out of that developed an incredible business.
Yes, it's wonderful when you put all these, you borrow for certain abilities and you create your own. It's customized and no one else is doing it. And you see all the benefits that your clients are experiencing. you believe in them, and then when they start to believe in themselves, you see all their hard work come to fruition, and they're reaping the benefits.
Exactly. And I love his story about how when he was younger and he was getting picked on for his size, and that's what drove him to make a change in his own life. And then that then led to his great business, which is so awesome.
Yeah, kudos to his mom for giving him advice of, hey, maybe you should start charging people. That way everybody's knowing what you're doing instead of just wasting your time. You're out here making a living for it. Kudos.
Yep.